Hello, friends. Welcome to the Beth Williams Indie Americana Songwriter Show. I am Beth Williams, coming to you from the western slope of beautiful Colorado in the USA, right here at Hill Country Recording Studio. I'll be bringing you music where the Colorado mountains meet the West Texas wind and beyond. My featured artist today is going to be Texas songwriter Bob Charles. So be sure and stay through the whole show so you can hear my interview with Bob and also some of his great music. So let's get started. We're going to kick off with a tune by Susan Marie Reeves from her Young Heart CD. The tune is called Crazy When You're Gone. Following that, we're going to play a tune by a friend of hers, Andy Ard, Colorado songwriter I just recently heard. I think he's terrific. And the song I'll be playing is Yeah, 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 Yeah. That's 4 yeahs. And his name is Andy Ard. But first, let's listen to Susan with Crazy When You're Gone.
To the ocean to swim my mind away, swim as far as you could see. And all I kept thinking as I took each breath is the way that you touch me. I'm so crazy now since you got inside my head. I'm so crazy when you're gone. I'm so crazy now since you got inside my head. I'm so crazy when you're gone. From the mountains, I'm running on the sun. I'm singing to the sea. And all I can think of when I close my eyes is your arms caressing me. I'm so crazy now since you got inside my head. I'm so crazy when you're gone. I'm so crazy now since you got inside my head. I'm so crazy when you're gone. Desert plain, feel the wind come blowing free. And all I can think of, standing on this ledge, that your arms caressing me. I'm so crazy when you're gone. I'm so crazy now since you got inside my head. I'm so crazy when you're gone.
universe has only one answer to the question, are you gonna play? The sun is always up there even when it's overcast, and the proof it rises every day. It likes to happen any way it can. Simple is how simple is our plans. Say it long enough, it's true. Everything and everything you do. The world is waiting for you to get in it. Come on, come on, come on. Don't worry if there's hell to pay. Like water you will find a way. Come on, come on, come on. Say the word you really want to say. Do the things you wanted to today. No excuses, no more hiding out. Let them hear you shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Alrighty then, that was Andy Ard. Yeah, 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 yeah is the name of the tune. And yeah, Andy is one of my new favorite Colorado songwriters. Great stuff. Before that, we heard beautiful Susan Marie Reeves doing her song, Crazy When You're Gone. I'm Beth Williams. Thank you so much to all my listeners overseas and in the USA for tuning in and joining me. So now we're going to jump from Colorado down to Texas and do a tune by Carmen Caroline. It's from her CD, For Now, and the song is called Looking for You. It's a tune written by her dad, Rand McCullough. Right after that, Mr. Mike Blakely, who's also a Texas songwriter, and the CD is called Keepsake, and we're going to do a great song from the CD. It's called My Same Old New Mexico Dream. But right now, here's Miss Carmen Caroline with her song, Looking for You.
Some days it will rain, some days it will not. Sometimes it's so cold in here, sometimes it gets hot. Life is up and down, the sky touches the ground. It's a random universe, but the world keeps spinning round. And I keep looking for you, and I keep looking for future lies ahead, the past is far behind. Will I learn from my mistakes, or will I lose my mind? And I keep looking for you, and I keep looking for you. It takes so long to find true love, so hard to find. And I keep looking for you, and I keep looking for you. Keep looking for you. Keep looking for you. Keep looking for you. Keep looking
Out past the workshops, the billboards and truck stops, west of the West Texas line. A Spanish king once granted a land that was enchanted, where the desert rises up to meet the pine. It's high enough to stay cool in the summer, and it's low enough to gather in the streams. For the wild trout, pueblos, bean fields, and so goes my same old New Mexican dream. Back in '77, I stumbled onto heaven, and I found some peace where mountain rivers flow. Where a lie is a promise, and the cutthroats are honest, and the rainbows will rise up from below. You cast your favorite pattern on the river, you mended and you drifted through the sea. You hope for a good time and the strike comes, hey, I'm in my same old New Mexican dream. Yes, it's my same old New Mexican dream. Will my flame glow through? Yes, it can bleed. Will my aim hold true next in the street? In my same old New Mexican dream. So out past the workshops, the billboards and row crops, west of the West Texas line. A Spanish king once granted land that was enchanted, where the desert rises up to meet the pine. You cast your favorite pattern on the river, you mended and you drifted through the sea. You hope for a good time, the strike comes, hey, I'm in my same old New Mexican dream. Yes, it's my same old New Mexican dream. Will my flame glow through? it can gleam. Will that rainbow hue be next in the stream? In my same old New Mexican dream. Yes, it's my same old New Mexican dream. Will my flame glow through? Yes, it can gleam. Will my aim hold true next in the stream? In my same old New Mexican dream.
That was Texas singer-songwriter Mike Blakely with his tune, My Same Old New Mexico Dream, from his Keepsake CD. Before that, of course, we had Carmen Caroline singing Looking for You. Now I'm going to do a tune from our featured artist, whose name is Bob Charles. He's a Texas singer-songwriter, phenomenal guitar player. He's the real deal, folks. Not only that, but he's one of the nicest, most humble guys you'll ever meet. I'm going to play a tune from his Blue Sky Black CD. The song is called Pauper's Claim to Fame. Here's Bob Charles.
Now you've come, now that you have seen her come up from the flames of your demeanor. What is it your jealous heart commanding? Trying to beguile my understanding. Pale and green, your eyes deceive and steal me. What a scene, so willing to reveal me. You never learn the rhythm and the rhyme. Your virtue has never been your time. You painted all my feelings on the ceilings and the walls. You took up with my freedoms and you dragged them down the hall. And now you come return with a claim upon my name. Oh, you don't understand about Papa's claim to fame.
was Bob Charles, Pauper's Claim to Fame, from his CD, Blue Sky Black. And it just so happens that I have Bob Charles in the studio with me. Kind of. I have Bob Charles on FaceTime video chat. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Thank you, Beth.
And let's just be clear, I call Bob Bobby because I've known him since he was 18, which is a few years back. So, first of all, what can you tell me about this song, Pauper's Claim to Fame?
It was a fun song to do. It was actually written by my friend Joe L'Esperance, who's a songwriter in Boston. He's such a great writer that I wanted to include some of his songs on the record. The only way that we could do that was we had to fly him down here and sit him down and put him in front of a microphone and just record tunes that way, because there was nothing documented. We had a great time. We sat Joe down. It was part of the creation of the album. You know, after he left and after we were done partying and hanging out and everything, I was left with these songs, and Pauper's just stuck out to me. And it was almost like country feel to it. It was kind of bouncy, you know. I turned it upside down and changed it into something. I still wanted to include the acoustic properties that were originally there. And I think we did that, you know, because there's an acoustic track throughout it, as well as the electric trio.
Yeah, it's a great tune. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, all right? When did you first know you wanted to play music, and what was your first inspiration?
Probably records around the house that my parents had, radio, hearing things that my parents always had records by, Frank Sinatra, Herb Alpert, the Tijuana Brass, the old stuff like that, and that I latched onto it. I was really young, maybe 8 or 9 years old or something like that at the time, but it's kind of an interesting story. I had a next door neighbor that was quite a bit older than me. He turned me on to music, and I remember going into his house and sitting down in front of a little record player, and all of a sudden I heard the Allman Brothers, and I heard Jimi Hendrix, and I heard Eric Clapton. That was it. It's changed my world, hearing that music, and it's always remained like in my heart in a big way since then.
So how old were you when you actually started playing your first guitar?
Probably about 8. You know, I had the cheapest of Sears acoustic guitar that you could have, and I used to listen to Jimi Hendrix and go, how is he doing that on a guitar, you know? Yeah, and just, kind of a familiar story. I think a lot of people progress from that point. They get an electric, and then before you know it, you're just kind of playing with friends in the neighborhood and whatnot, and moved on from there.
When was your very first band that you played in professionally, your first gig?
My very first gig, well, I played a gig in New York when I lived in New York, and I don't think it was a paying gig. It seemed professional to me because there was a large audience. I don't even remember what it was for. It was in some convention center. It was basically a blues band, because the blues world was the foundation for me, and still is the platform I like to work from. I played a gig there, and shortly thereafter, we moved to Texas. The first actual gig that I did was the rodeo in San
What? Was it a country gig?
It was a country, yeah. I just wanted to be in a band. I wanted to start playing, and there was a lot of country bands in town, so it was like, all right. I met a guitar player in town who was playing in a country band, and then he left and turned me on to the gig. And so I kind of filled his shoes, and that was the first gig I did.
Well, first of all, I just always assumed that you were from Texas. Let me just say for my listeners, I have known Bob Charles, since he was 18 or maybe 19 when I was in a band called Slow Cotton, and we were at the Town Crier. And what I remember about you is that every break you were like sitting over in a corner doing scales on your guitar. I was just astonished by it. I mean, you didn't take a break, and you were phenomenal. Amazing when I think you were 18 or 19.
That was a fun band. Slow Cotton, I have real fond memories. I think you did a lot of folk rock and blues oriented stuff. I already had that in my heart, so it was a no-brainer to enjoy that and kind of step into that. And we worked. Right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
We were playing 5-6 nights a week.
So let's play another one of your tunes right now. I'm going to play Trouble My World. What can you tell me about that song, Bobby?
It was a very simple song. I played it on an acoustic dobro type instrument. I don't have that instrument anymore. It actually was stolen from me after I had done the recording out of my truck. It was fun to do. I just played slide on it, just a couple of microphones on the guitar, kind of an older school blues flavor to it, but a little bit of a contemporary chorus. It kind of keeps going back to that chorus line.
Right. So here he is now, Bob Charles, with his song, Trouble My World.
Baby, I never needed a hustler or a thief. Well, you robbed my heart, trust and belief. I didn't need your bad love, lies and deceit. I fell into your world, it pulled me down deep. Well, trouble my world, trouble my way. Well, trouble my world, trouble my day. Inside my heart, it's worn and torn apart. The old soft shoe is all I got from you. Well, trouble my world, trouble my way. Trouble my world, trouble my day. Your spirit lies in the shadow, your smile is a frown. No key to the castle, diamond in your crown. Well, trouble your world, trouble your way. Well, trouble your world, trouble your day.
That was Bob Charles, Trouble My World. So, Bobby, some musicians devote themselves entirely to trying to be a rich, famous musician. But you have other things that you're equally passionate about, and I don't see that you have really been an aggressive person trying to be a star. So tell me about your life as a singer-songwriter and as a musician, from where you kind of started, what you thought it would be, and what it is now.
Wow, that's a good question. A lot of things weren't not planned other than that central thread of wanting to play. You know, there was always that, like, I can't not do it. have to play. You know, like a lot of musicians, I went through periods of time where I wasn't promoting myself as an artist. I was a working musician because, you know, you're making a living. And I never sang, even though vocal music was an important form of music to me. It was where my roots were. It was part of my background. I loved it. Why I didn't do it, I don't know. You tried to get me to sing many years ago, and I looked at you like you had three heads. But it's a life change. It's something when, you know, maybe you start realizing things down the road, and you go, maybe time for a new chapter. I think I have my father to thank for that, because he was really a pioneer to me in making changes and making moves. I mean, we moved as a family from upstate New York down south, which was a huge thing. You know, most everybody was saying, you're nuts, you're crazy, you don't know what you're doing, you're going to quit your job, you're going to do these things. But he did it anyway, and it made all the difference. And I think that I used that a little bit, you know, when it came to a point where I thought, you know, I love what I'm doing, but I don't love what I'm doing at the same time. You know, so it caused the shift into playing and singing. You know, so I spent a couple of years just playing a lot of solo gigs so that I could develop that platform. As simple as I can make it, develop playing and singing, develop songwriting, still developing, constantly improving, you know, connected to my musical roots, all the jazz background, you know, that I studied and the influences that I had there. You know, it's like I'm not necessarily going down that road, but that's a huge part of what I like to do, you know, the expression aspect of it. I was influenced a lot by John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, Bill Evans. I like that amalgamation of styles in a lot of the later artists that I got into.
Let me backtrack one more time. When you started playing, did you take lessons or you self-taught? Because you are a phenomenal guitarist. I mean, phenomenal. You were when you were 18 and you're more so now.
Thank you. Both. It started without lessons. I just fiddled with it. There was an acquaintance or a neighbor of my father's that played a little bit, and they started bringing me to him. He was teaching me legit stuff that I didn't do very well with, but I learned a little bit more appropriately, chords and sheet reading, that type of thing. And then from there, it was a brief period of time, maybe 6 months or something. And then after that, it was self-taught. It was mostly, you know, lifting music off of records, you know, learning songs, solos, and things like that off of records. And then right around 18, I ended up going to a guitar conservatory. That was a 1 year. I went back from being self-taught back into the world of education in that regard. So I went through the school, which I formed so many friendships and whatnot with different people. And Jackie King, who passed away a few years ago, was the founder of that school and an unbelievable person. I learned so much from him and credit him to my background in jazz and learning that a whole other world, completely different world. After I graduated, he hired me to be an instructor. So I taught for a couple of years, you know, which was fun. It was pro level. It was classroom instruction. And his biggest thing that I hold to this day was the concept of learning how to learn. Learning how to learn. So my education continued on my own. I went back to being self-taught, but I kind of had the tools how to continue to teach myself. And it's not just for music. Everything was that way. I had an old friend who passed away that told me once, nothing's hard if you know how, you know? And so if you can teach yourself something, then that's a great tool. I got that from Jackie. So the education will never stop.
And as you're talking, I'm looking at your studio equipment. For anybody, any of my listeners who might be in China, Ireland, Canada, if they wanted to hire you as a guitar player or for other reasons, they could contact you and do that, correct?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. They could contact me through Facebook, or the website is bobcharles.com. Facebook is simply Bob Charles Music.
Bob Charles Music. Okay. So let's play another tune from your Blue Sky Black CD. How about if we play Run From Me? Tell me about the song. Can you tell me why you wrote that song? Or
it's a somewhat typical song about relationships, I guess, a breakup. It was fueled by that.
Here's Bob Charles with his song, Run From Me.
Rest through the night, drift through the day. You had diamonds and gold, you never really cared. No one ever said all in love is fair. Whole world might change, the heart won't hide. I hear your voice telling those lies. Some days I'm strong, some days weak. I'll still hear footsteps to run from me, or you run from me. The stars up above never seem to shine. Trust in your love, souls only cry. Am I some kind of fool? No reason, no rhyme. Is love lonely and cruel every time? Whole world might change, heart won't hide. I hear your voice telling those lies. Some days I'm strong, some days weak. I'll still hear footsteps to run from me, but you run from me. Whole world might change, heart won't hide. I hear your voice telling those lies. Some days I'm strong, some days weak. I'll still hear footsteps to run from me, you run from me. Oh, run away.
Bob Charles with his song Run From Me. You know, you mentioned earlier something about that you are building your own studio. So what's really cool about me, having known you so many years ago, and now you write your songs, you're a singer, you have your own recording studio, and you're building your studio, so you're like a real physical guy. Tell us about that. It sounds like to me, and you're doing your own website, you really just kind of do it yourself. I think that's awesome. Very grassroots.
Thanks. Yeah. At one point in time, I was kind of like one of the low spots of my life where I wasn't homeless, but I was very close to that. So consequently, I ended up buying a piece of land because I always wanted to be in the country, and I bought a piece of land. I bought a bunch of books, back to the learning how to learn, and I just studied carpentry and electrical work and stuff, and I built my house. It's been somewhat of an ongoing process, and we recorded the record in my house. I mean, we just used the different rooms for different areas, which a lot of people do today. Now the push is to move into the larger studio. I'm doing that in my spare time.
Cool. So you mentioned you were at a low spot in your life. Can you tell us, how did you get out of that low spot?
Well, sometimes if there's nothing left to do but tread water, you're just treading water. That's the first thing. You keep your head above water and then move from there. One of the things that got me out was I still had passion for music. And I had a passion for country life in a way, you might say, just the serenity of in the country. And I didn't care if I lived in a tent. I liked the independence of that. I was lucky enough to work again as a teacher and as a musician and just, put together enough money to put some money down and buy a little piece of property in the hill country. One of the things that helped me was I got a job as like a pit musician, you might say, at Fiesta, Texas. So I was playing 5-6 nights a week, and it was just reading. You just go in and you read a show. It allowed me in a way to not think. So I was still playing. It allowed me time to come home and build the house and work on the studio and stuff like that.
So I think you mentioned that you might have another CD planned, and tell us about that if you do, or if you're working on some other songs.
The CD, I'm in the process of working on it. I don't know what it's going to be like yet because I'm constantly torn between electric and acoustic world. I love them both. There was a time when I didn't even own an acoustic guitar, and now I can't imagine. It'd be the one thing I'd want if I was on a desert island, and had nothing but one instrument, be acoustic. But there's about half of it written. I really want to include a couple of songs from my friend Joe Lesperance and Brian Evans, who I couldn't do any of this without them. Really, they've been instrumental in helping and lighting a fire under me in that regard. But I also lost a good friend a little over a year ago, a singer-songwriter. I want to include at least one of his songs on the acoustic record.
And his name?
Scott Byers. I want to honor him by, having his songs on the record as well.
So we've got time for one more song. We're going to play the title song from your CD, Blue Sky Black. Anything you want to tell us about that tune?
It's somewhat of a relationship thing again, but it's optimistic and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It was a fun song to do.
Thank you for joining me on my show.
Beth, thank you. It's just terrific to talk with you and have this opportunity.
It's been wonderful talking to you, Bobby. Once again, here's Bob Charles, Blue Sky Black.
Somebody's voice is still tonight. I have to learn I lost this faith. Somewhere a star fell from the sky, put on a shelf, I don't know why. It's harder every day to keep up with the parade. Love and emotion turn a blue sky black. You can never look down, don't look there. You can never look back. An old rocking chair is still tonight. The lantern burns a flame of light. War of roses inside of my heart, but I wanted peace from the start. It's harder every day to keep up with the parade. Love and emotion turn a blue sky black. You can never look down, don't look back. You can never look back. When you keep on falling away, when you keep on cold wind is blowing, staring down at my shoes. Maybe one day I'll walk from these blues. Oh, this endless heartache cuts like a knife, a chain without charms, moon without light. It's harder every day to keep up with the parade. When love and emotion turn a blue sky black, you can never look down, don't look back. You can never look back. Love and emotion turn a blue sky black. You can never look down, don't look back. You can never look back. Don't look back. You can never look back.
Well, I love me some Bob Charles, and I love me some Bob Charles music. That was the title song from his CD, Blue Sky Black. Great music, great singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Check him out at bobcharles.com. Thanks for tuning into the Beth Williams Indie Americana Songwriter Show. I am Beth Williams, coming to you from beautiful Colorado, waiting for the snow. I'm looking out my window, not seeing snow yet, but hopefully soon. So we're going to do a tune while we wait for the snow by another Colorado songwriter, Sunny Hager. And this is actually one of her older songs. The tune is called You're the One.
2, 3.
Love you some more. You stole my heart at Aloha Beach. Now your love is out of reach, darling. You're the one, the only one for me. Tahiti, Fiji, or the whole. Just kiss your lips at sunset. Love you some more. You stole my heart at Aloha Beach. Now your love is out of reach, darling. You're the one, the only one for me. The only one for me. Oh yeah, the only one for me. The only one for me.
And now, folks, it is time for... That's right, the Gospel Minute. Today's Gospel Minute is Karma Grimes. You can find her on Facebook, Karma Grimes Life Song Ministries, and the tune is a great one. It's called Goin' Home.
trumpet will sound and we will all be gone, 'cause we're going home. Going home. Signs of the times are everywhere. Tremors and floods are giving people a scare, but we're going home. Going home. Going home. Going home. Going home. We're gonna rise in the sky in just a blink of an eye and go home. Going home. Going home. It's exciting to think that we'll soon be going home. Don't let the cares of this world we live in burden us down or keep our eyes off Him, 'cause we're going home. Oh, we're going home. Nobody knows the hour or day when Jesus will come and take us all away, and we'll be going home. Going home. Going home. Going home. Going home. We're gonna rise in the sky in just a blink of an eye and go home. Going home. Going home. It's exciting to think that we'll soon be going home. We're going home. Going home. We're gonna rise in the sky in just a blink of an eye and go home. We're going home. Going home. It's exciting to think that we'll soon be going home. It's exciting to think that we'll soon be going. Exciting to think that we'll soon be going. Exciting to think that we'll soon be going home.
Girls, you better keep an eye on your good man. There's somebody waiting to catch him if she can. She's just like a cat sneaking in the dark, waits for the chance to steal your good man's heart. Girls, you better keep an eye on your good man. Girls, you better show your man the way you feel. Yeah. There's somebody waiting around this town who will. She waits in the shadows like a China doll, steal your man from you, then she'll watch you fall. Girls, you better show your man the way you feel. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's the gal with no guy of her own. I've been watching her, watching your man, just waiting to catch him alone. So girls, you better keep an eye on your good man. Guitar. Whoa. keep an eye on your good man. Somebody waiting to catch him if she can. She's just like a cat sneaking in the dark. She waits for the chance to steal your good man's heart. Girls, you better keep an eye on your good man. There's somebody waiting to catch him if she can. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. That's right. What? Excuse me? You want to do what? You want to take my man and go on a business trip this weekend coming up? Where? Vegas? Oh, yeah, right. Sure, not in this lifetime, but if we're reincarnated and you come back as a cat, you'll be welcome to come live with us, and maybe you can snuggle up with him then. Meow. That was yours truly, Beth Williams, singing my song, Your Good Man, off my Touché CD. You can learn more about that CD as well as all my other music by going to BethWilliamsMusic.com. We're just about out of time. I want to say thank you once again for joining me. I'll be back next week, same time, same station, and I hope that you'll join me then. And until then, I would love for you to join me on Facebook, Beth Williams Music, or on my YouTube channel, Beth Williams Music, and then again, of course, BethWilliamsMusic.com. Also, if you go to BethWilliamsMusic.com/radio shows, there's a link to each and every songwriter that you heard, so you can listen to the show again. It's archived there. But more importantly, you can click on a link that goes to the songwriters, go to their Facebook page, click like. Please support these indie songwriters any way you can. So until next time, this is Beth Williams, wishing you well.